Chicago, 1930. The city was alive, but not in the way you'd hope. She breathed through cigar smoke and gunpowder. Her veins pumped illegal booze. Her heartbeat thudded in back alleys and speakeasies. And every breath she took came with a price. You see, by 1930, Chicago wasn't just a city. It was a war zone in a tailored suit. Coppers in wide-brimmed hats, politicians with two faces, and gangsters, oh, the gangsters, slick-haired devils dressed in pinstripes and blood. And standing on top of the whole rotten empire was one man, Alphonse Gabriel Capone. They called him Scarface, but you didn't say that to his face, not unless you wanted to sleep in concrete pajamas. Capone ran Chicago like a king. His throne, the Lexington Hotel, his crown, a fedora tilted just so, his scepter, a Tommy gun, and an army of loyal killers. Now Prohibition, that godforsaken experiment, had been going for a full decade. They banned booze, thinking it'd clean up America. But all it did was open the floodgates, and imported men like Capone, Bugs Moran, Johnny Torrio, and Frank Nitti. They didn't just smuggle liquor, they built empires from it. Distilleries in basements, trucks with false bottoms. Judges paid off with hush money and dames. Chicago wasn't dry, it was soaked with whiskey, blood, and fear. Capone's mob, the Chicago outfit, had their hands in everything. Gambling, prostitution, racketeering, unions, you name it. And if you didn't play ball, you got buried 6 feet under second base in a sandlot somewhere near Cicero. Let me tell you about Bugs Moran, North Side Irishman, mean streak a mile wide. He hated Capone, and Capone hated him right back. Their feud painted the streets in red. And on February 14, 1930, Valentine's Day, Capone gave Bugs a little love note. 7 men, gunned down in a Lincoln Park garage. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Tommy guns barked from men dressed as cops. Blood on the walls, bullets in backs. And Moran slipped away by minutes. He'd live, but he'd never recover. Capone didn't just kill his men, he broke his soul. But here's the kicker. Capone wasn't even in town. He was sunning himself in Miami. That's the thing about gangsters. They don't pull the trigger themselves. They buy the fingers that do. See, Chicago in 1930 wasn't just about the crime. It was about the system. The whole damn thing was rotten from the mayor's office to the shoeshine boy. Cops got envelopes, judges got protection, and the people, they got used to looking the other way. The outfit would hold charity dinners, hand out turkeys on Thanksgiving, pay a widow's rent. They wanted to be seen as kings, not killers. Capone even opened soup kitchens during the Depression. Can you believe that? Feeding the hungry with one hand while choking the city with the other. But the feds weren't blind. Not all of them. Enter Eliot Ness, the Untouchables. That kid was straight as an arrow, wouldn't take a dime. He and his team made Capone sweat. They raided warehouses, smashed barrels, hauled in truckloads of illegal liquor. But they could never nail him. Not for murder, not for racketeering. No, it was taxes that got him. The most powerful gangster in America, brought down by accountants. In 1931, they slapped the cuffs on him. Tax evasion, 22 counts, sentenced to 11 years in the pen. Capone, the untouchable, ended up in Alcatraz, locked away like the animal he was. Syphilis ate away at his brain. By the time he was released, he wasn't the king anymore. He was just a ghost in a wrinkled suit. But the story doesn't end there. Because the outfit, they didn't die with Capone. They evolved, got smarter, more careful, less flashy. Frank Nitti, Paul Ricca, Tony Accardo, men who didn't crave headlines. They wanted quiet power, boardroom respect. They let the casinos do the talking. And while the bullets stopped flying so openly in the streets, Chicago never truly cleaned up. Not really, because organized crime, it ain't about violence, it's about control. And in 1930, the gangs didn't just control booze, they controlled the very soul of the city. People walk the magnificent mile today, eat deep dish, pose by the bean. But if you listen real close, you can still hear the echoes. The rattle of dice behind a door that ain't supposed to open. The ghost of a violin case under a trench coat. The soft scream of a city learning to live with its sins. Chicago, 1930, a time when crime wore silk and smiled.